He's laughing.
We're not on brand. Happy Thursday.
No, it's Wednesday today.
Oh my God, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I've been still in the mode of like no man's land. I don't know what day it is. Um, they all run together.
We did have to switch days because we had both had like random
Conflicts.
things going on. So different day than usual. But
We're here. We have a fun guest today. Should we kick it off?
yeah, we might as well get it started.
So today we have Coach L from Brute Strength. He has coached a lot and currently coaches a lot of elite athletes, but he's likely most notable for coaching Jayson Hopper, winner of last year's CrossFit Games. Do you want to bring him on?
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Just trying to avoid the flu like everybody else.
The
It's
plague. It's not even the flu,
serious.
it's the plague.
Yeah,
It's
it's pretty
bad.
bad. Someone
I was
told me that
surprised.
like 3,000 people died just from this round of the flu around the country, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah,
My
I have
mom
no
was saying,
concept of like how many people normally die from the flu, but that does
That's
seem like
true.
a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I think only like 2 or 4 states or something, my mom said, don't have any recorded cases. And it's like the flu shot did not have this strain, I guess, in it. So it's really bad. But I was surprised that I did not get sick. I should knock on wood, but after Copenhagen, because if I get no sleep, I'm always sick. And somehow
Yeah,
I avoided it for now, at least. So I
All
probably
three of
shouldn't have said
us.
anything. Yeah.
there you go. There you go. You're one of the lucky ones.
Did you wear
Um,
this color to match our brand?
This is purple. Not
yeah.
But it like fits the vibe.
sure. Let's go with that.
This fit the
No.
vibe. I was gonna say I was like looking over some stuff before we had you on, and everybody knows you as Jason's coach. I found out about you because you are or were Kelsey Keel's coach. So I've known about you way before Jason came along. I've been a fan since
Yeah.
then because I love Kelsey.
I think most people know me from Kelsey. I think people think I'm a good coach now because of Jason, but I think people knew who I was before.
Well, we thought you were a good coach long before Jason, don't
Always.
worry. So we kind of recently had Ariel on, and I mentioned to her how you're kind of like an enigma. Like you don't do that many interviews. No one really knows a lot about you, but you're this like behind the scenes coach. And I've seen you now at a couple, WFP tours, and you're just always like very quiet, very stoic. And she said something about how you like this is intentional and you want no one to know your ways. Is this true?
No, it's not. I just don't like attention. Um, Unfortunately, like I live in this world where a lot of the attention, uh, like you need attention to make money these days, and like our brand Brute, it's like people know who we are, but we want even more people to know who we are. And in order to continue growing that, I can't really like just sit behind my computer and not have people know who I am. Um, but I think people know a little about me, and I don't think I'm that quiet. I think I talk too much, matter of fact.
It's like actually.
Yeah,
It's
like
crazy because I think I text Mesa when we were talking about having you on, and Mesa's definitely like more involved with like the coaches and athletes when we go to events. I'm there, but I don't get to like kind of chit chat with people. But I've been like in the same areas as you, and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard this man talk ever. I don't think I've heard him speak.
that's crazy. I talk so much. I
Literally,
talk
when
I, I talk a lot.
we were in Copenhagen, we were sitting in the like breakfast hall, and I was like, PC, there's Coach L, and I really want him to come on the podcast. And he was like, L, and I was like, oh my God, because PC has this way of doing this, of just like grabbing people and then leaving me and Kate with them with no
Yeah.
explanation. And he was like, ask him. And I was like, do you wanna come on the podcast?
Yeah, it's really that simple. Yeah, I don't think I don't think I'm that quiet, but maybe I do need to do more of these podcasts so people don't think I don't speak.
I also like made the graphic for the podcast today. Second has no digital footprint. I can't find any picture. There's like 3 pictures of you on the internet. I think I ended up using like maybe your coaching picture from Go. I don't know where it came from, but I'm like, this is the only one I can find. So this is what it's gonna be.
Did you use AI like Coffee Pods and Wads like Peter? Because
No.
he did me wrong with his AI rendition.
You didn't like it?
Oh yeah, that was bad.
It did not look like me at all.
I was like,
It
they're
was
all
really bad.
edited, but Elle is just a different person on that.
Yeah, I was like, it's not even close.
I saw that and I was like, I feel like this is wrong.
Yeah. I deleted my Instagram. I deactivated, not deleted it. I deactivated it mainly because I was like, I'm really busy right now with like work and everything. And like I found myself like I'll go on there to message a specific person. It goes like 30 minutes. And it just kept happening. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. Plus I don't post a lot. So it's like if you're not posting on Instagram, you're really just using it as a distraction. Um, so it was a good time to deactivate it, take a break, get into some good habits, and then maybe get back a little bit later.
It's funny you say that because I was going to message you to ask you to come on the podcast and I couldn't find you. And I was like, Kate, did Elle
You thought I
block?
blocked you?
And then I was like looking on mine, looking on the podcast, and then she was like, ask Ariel. And then I was like, okay, we did the podcast and she's gone.
Yeah. I think I had last time I deleted, I just kind of just deleted. I was like, I'm not telling anybody I'm doing this. And people were like checking on me, making sure I was okay, and I was like not depressed or going through something tough. So this time I was like, hey, everything's fine, guys. I just don't want to be on Instagram right now. And
So
it's been good.
it's interesting that you bring that up because Jayson is very active on Instagram and making content. So if like as a coach you find social media distraction, what are your thoughts about athletes and Instagram or content creation like that?
Well, the thing about athletes is they are brands now, right? Like Jayson Hopper is a brand. He's more than just an athlete. And yes, winning will bring more sponsorships, more opportunities and everything, but he has to treat himself as a brand and he has to like market himself out there. I guarantee you that if it wasn't that way and somebody was doing it for him, he wouldn't be posting a single thing on the internet. Besides the stuff that he truly enjoys. But I think being a professional athlete, you kind of have to have a media presence. You have to be out there, right? And that's kind of what attracts the big brands more so than like winning. Yeah, the brands want you to win, and that's important to them. But they also want you to have a presence.
That makes sense. You kind of I feel like have to have a presence now
To make money, right?
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, it's not even like if you were like in the NFL or in the NBA, it's like you're on TV every 3 days, every week. People get to see you, and then a global company like the NFL, the NBA, they will like market the athletes that they feel are marketable and like push them out there to people. So those athletes don't have to do a whole ton with like their media presence, but like we're not at that stage with CrossFit where CrossFit is doing that for all of those athletes, maybe some of them. So like the athletes have to take it into their own hands of like, I'm gonna have a YouTube channel, I'm gonna be on social media, I'm gonna make these posts. And it kind of is part of the job of a professional athlete, right? A lot of times it's like younger athletes and up and coming athletes, like they're really locked in on training. And like when I ask them, like, hey, if you want sponsorships, you have to post on social media. It's like really hard for them to understand that like doing well is not enough to attract big brands, essentially.
That's crazy. And I've never thought about the screen time thing. Like professional athletes do, they're on TV, so they at least get FaceTime that way. But we really kind of miss out on that when it comes to CrossFit.
Yeah.
That's so interesting that as a coach, you have to like talk to athletes about that.
I have to talk to them about everything because it's like the financial struggle of the up and coming CrossFit athlete is very, very difficult. Like there's maybe 30 or 40 athletes that can make a decently living off of CrossFit, right? And you compare that to like other sports like NFL, NBA, not only are those guys killing it financially, but like that number is probably closer to like 400, 500, right? Like there's 415 spots in the NBA that are professional contracts. It's not quite that deep for CrossFit athlete. I think it's getting better with the addition of WFP, Rogue. Like the more opportunities to compete is not for maybe all the top athletes to partake. It's for more athletes to have a seat at the table, essentially. Or the way I look at it is there's a bigger pie now for everybody to share.
So speaking of that, let's get into that a little bit.
Pies?
You
I hate pies.
you hate pies. Hot take of the day.
I've never eaten a
Pie,
pie.
pie is like bread and like jam put together. It's useless.
That's why I've never eaten. I've never had a pie. Yeah, I feel that.
I feel like you've had bad pie in your life. I
I've
didn't
I've
know.
tried many, many, many pies, and they're all
I'll have
like
my mom make you a
deceiving.
amazing pie, and maybe that change your mind.
What is like the go-to pie? Like
Apple,
apple?
with like
Yeah,
vanilla
it's mid.
ice cream. It's like a,
See, you have to add something else to make it better. Like
Mm.
by itself, it's not good, but you have to add something else.
It's funny you say that because I have a member of my gym who is a professional baker. She works at like a really high-end bakery. And I actually had a meeting with her today to talk about like potentially having a cafe in my gym, all this. And she was like, but I'm never making pies. And she said that to thing. So
See?
maybe this is a take that I should give you. But okay, talking about the season. So you coach a lot of athletes that have the opportunity to compete at so many of these competitions. Now there's WFP. I don't need to name them. You know them all. Like, how does that change your job? Because that probably changes a lot of planning your season. How are you advising some athletes to compete more, some less? Like, explain that process from the coach's end.
So the first season of like, or this past season with the addition of WFP, there wasn't like there was like a lot of hesitation because we didn't know like what it was, what it meant, where it was going to go, and everything. So not didn't really like recommend it to anybody. Like Jayson had a pro card, so it was kind of like a no-brainer of like, all right, we're competing in May, we're competing in August after the games, and then we're competing in December. Besides that, the only thing that it kind of added is when we peak, when we deload, how much like intensity we're putting in his training and how much he gets to like basically take a break and when his breaks are going to come. So it's like so online semis happened. He did the open, went to Mayhem, didn't quite go as planned. We're hoping that we would qualify at Mayhem, then we wouldn't have to do online semis, get to like put in a whole block going into the first WFP tour. But anyways, did online semis, qualified through online semis. The following week, he had WFP, and then took a week off of training to kind of reset, take a break, and then went into games prep. The games went really well. Wanted to take like a longer break of like a month is what's necessary after the games, honestly, of like, I'm going to take a month, reset everything. I was going to force him to take at least 2 weeks, but after a week, he was like so excited to get back to training. We kind of like had to get back to it, and it kind of made sense with WFP coming up. So we didn't really get to take a break. Did WFP, didn't go as well as we hoped, but it went fine. Then he went to Wadapalooza. Didn't really plan for that. It was kind of like, all right, we're just going to kind of like start laying a little bit of foundation work going into Wadapalooza. And then I believe it took another week off, and then we started Rogue Prep. And then after Rogue, he was done for the season. Really, really struggling to like get into the gym. So it was kind of like the right decision to kind of call it for the season. And like he was already dealing with some injuries going into Rogue. So it was like kind of a no-brainer of like, let's get healthy and let's think long term here.
If it, like, let's say we'll just use Jayson as an example, but not necessarily him, but one of your athletes like Jayson, you see that he's struggling after Rogue, but has a commitment at WFP, and he's like, I really want to do this, but you see that he's having a really hard time. Like, what does that conversation look like if you really think that he shouldn't, but maybe an athlete wants to do it?
I mean, as coaches, we don't make decisions, the athletes, right? All we can say is like lay out the pros, the cons, as corny as it sounds, the pros, the cons, and like what the benefits are. I think in this situation, I don't really believe like we had the option of competing at the and it go well, right? So it's like, yes, we have the commitment, but like if you're already struggling and you're not in the best place where you're struggling mentally and physically, there wasn't like much of a decision. Like even if he was like 90% in, like we would have went and like did the comp.
So you said obviously going into 2025, we didn't know what WFP was going to look like. You can't really recommend it. Now it was kind of a no man's land year anyways. Nobody really knew what to expect. Now we have 1 year under our belt. We have kind of an idea of what it would look like. You've seen the end of it where an athlete burns out because it is too much competing. You know that WFP can hold their own. It's going to be a good competition. Like you're looking at 2026. How do you plan for that? No, like you just laid out a year that sounded like there was no downtime. Like you had maybe a week here or there. So if you have an athlete who has the potential to win the CrossFit Games, has the potential to win WFP, wants to do things like Rogue, how do you approach that? Because that's kind of the dilemma we're in right now.
Yeah. I I think it depends. I think if you're trying to get to a place where you're making money from CrossFit, like trying for that pro card really, really makes sense, right? If you're not earning money, like the opportunities to gain money from the CrossFit Games season are very limited if you're not in the top 10. If you're not a top 10 athlete, it's really, really difficult. But you have a better opportunity going the WFP route, right? Where you can kind of do like the WFP season and make a little bit. Like I'm not saying you're going to be buying mansions with it or anything, but you can make a little bit. And then outside of like just WFP, like there's other competitions that have a lot to offer, like financially, right? Like it doesn't just have to be those two options. You can go do a NorCal and try to go to a Monster Games that has pretty decent money. You can go to a Crash Crucible that has pretty decent like winnings. Like you can do TFX. Like there's plenty of options out there for like athletes to earn money if you're in that place where you kind of need to get something out of it in order to keep the dream alive, essentially. Some athletes just get jobs, right? And if you're lucky, you have a remote job where you can. I don't want to talk for Ariel, but like she don't do anything.
Here it goes.
You
Hopefully
can,
your dog's not watching.
I don't think they are, but you can have a job where you have set amount of hours and you can still work your training around it and it doesn't take away from like a stress point of view. But like not everybody is that fortunate, obviously.
Okay, so if you're like Dallin, James, Jayson, they're making money off of sponsorships, probably majority, maybe winnings if you're winning the CrossFit Games. but they don't have to do a pro card to make ends meet. It's like the prestige of what competitions they're choosing. How do you do that? Like, how do you pick?
I don't think you have to pick. I think if you like, there is definitely a way to do both, right? It changes the approach, but there's a way to do both. It also depends on the stage of like fitness that you're in. If you're still developing and you have a lot of holes to fill, I would suggest doing both. Meaning you need to be in the gym, you need to be training consistently, you need to be doing your consistent cycles, whatever the case may be. But if you already built that base and like your holes are small and it's like very specific, definitely do both. Like there's there's room to do both for sure.
What did you learn? This was Jayson your only athlete like at the games and WFP?
Yes.
What did you guys learn this year that you would maybe do differently looking back on whether it's training cycles or rest?
Um,
Or maybe
I
you wouldn't.
pers I personally don't think that like it just my approach to training and the way and the philosophy that Jason and I have, it's really, really difficult because it's based on intensity, right? So like with the intensity, you need an equal amount of like rest and recovery, right? So I think it is just not one of those things where we can train as hard as we want to in order to create that adaptation and then also go compete 6 times a year. It's just not really possible. Now, there are athletes where I know that they need more volume and they can handle more volume. And with them, it's like less about intensity and just more volume is what creates adaptation for them. They can handle competing 6 times a year because they're built for volume for one, and it just kind of aligns with like their approach to training because everything they do is volume. So it's like, all right, what's one more competition, you know? Yeah, but I don't it would be very hard for Jason to do both. It's possible, but it would be very difficult.
That makes sense.
I want to pivot a little bit, kind of on the same topic. How did you get into coaching? How did you decide you wanted to coach CrossFit and then maybe even elite CrossFit?
Uh, how did I get into coaching? I was personal training in college. So I was at my there's a gym right outside of LSU called Max Fitness, and I was personal training there. And then I graduated college, and I had this like, do you guys know what Living Social is?
Mm-mm.
No.
So it's like Groupon. It's like a month
Okay.
of
Oh,
CrossFit for like $50, right? It was
yep.
like a New Year's thing. And that weekend, I was on Facebook, and it was a video of Ryan Fisher and Kenny Leverage. Do you guys know who that is?
I
I
don't.
know who Ryan Fisher is. I don't know
I've
who Kenny Loggins is.
Oh my God, y'all aren't OGs. Uh, Ryan Fisher and Kenny Leverage. They were doing Diane, and it looked super cool. It was like they were doing like super fast deadlift, super fast handstand push-ups, and I don't know if like the algorithm just got me. It suggested this living soul deal, $50 for CrossFit, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go try it. Went and tried it, did my free month, but I was like, I'm not paying for this because I was going to the global gym that was closer to school and where I lived, and so I stopped for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and then I went back like 3 months later, and I was kind of on it. And just naturally, the way I got into coaching was the two gyms were like 30 minutes apart. And so they're 30 minutes apart. It was hard for me to like go do CrossFit and then go personal train and go back and forth. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my level 1, and then I'll get all of my clients to come to the CrossFit gym with me. But they were also like 30 minutes is too far, so they all quit. So that was a real bummer. But then I had my level 1, and that's kind of how I got into coaching.
I just had a flashback. I think maybe it was Rogue. You and Torres did a question and answer on his Instagram. And I remember you talking about the Groupon because I also started CrossFit as a Grouponer, and there's not very many of us left. It was like back in like 2013, I think. And every time I tell anybody like, oh yeah, I started on Groupon, they're like, you guys are diamonds in a rough because there's not many of you guys.
Yeah, like a CrossFit membership's
So
like what,
I get that.
$200. So a $50 deal, that's easy.
Yeah, it's like closer to a Gold's membership.
That while we're talking about the Q&A that you guys did, I think maybe
Why?
after a few like old fashions, I think that I saw, that's like my favorite content that you guys have ever done. It was so fun.
So every chance I get, like every time like Matt and I get together for like competitions, we're like, all right, we got to do behind the scenes. We got to show the people like what it's really to be a coach in our shoes. And I think in Copenhagen, like I got on there the first day, I was like hype. I did like a whole day. I was like a full-time influencer. Like I felt it. I was like, all right, this is my job. I'm not coaching. That's the only thing I have to do for the company. And it lasted a whole one day. And I was like, I can't do this.
It's harder than people think.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't. It's not for me.
Okay, so wait, what was you got your L1? How do we get from there to coaching, elite athletes with Brute?
So I get my L1, and just in that whole timing, this was 2014 regionals. My gym, Go CrossFit, qualified a team to regionals, and the whole gym left. But I was like, I don't know what regionals are. I don't really care about this. And I was like the only person. Me and this girl named Sarah were the only like coaches left. So they actually let me coach just because everybody was gone. So like that's how I got into coaching. But they went to regionals. It didn't go well, to say the least. And they came back with a lot of like motivation. And from there, this is also how I met my wife. She was like one of the regional athletes. I was like, all right, let me coach you. And I decided to start coaching her, but I didn't know anything. So the way for me to like, I knew a little bit, but like not enough to like coach a CrossFit athlete.
You
Like
didn't know what regionals were.
Yeah.
I knew what they were, but I was like, I'm not spending money to like
Yeah.
go to San Antonio and like do all of
Yep.
that. And so when she came back, she agreed to let me coach her. I don't know why. I think she just liked me. And then one of my best friends who was also on the team with her, he decided to get a coach with OPEX. So he got a coach with OPEX. I was like, okay, cool. We'll also do that. And then I will learn how to coach by being myself. So we both had the same coach, Brian Foley, who actually is currently our High Rocks coach for Brute. Sign up for Brute High Rocks. Do it. It's the best. Brian Foley, who was awesome, basically taught me like everything I know. Like if we were doing a progression, he was explaining it to me. If I had questions of like, hey, what do I do with this? He was helping me. Even as far as like, this is what I see from Victoria. How do you think I should fix this, or how can I fix this? And that kind of started the whole process of me like learning how to coach. And then from there, I coached like 7 or 8 people for free for like a year, just as I like became a better coach and kind of like refined the process.
I think it's so cool in this space. I've talked to a lot of media people because that's kind of what I do behind the scenes at competition. Most of these people had no idea what they were doing when they started in photography or videography or coaching, and then all of you guys somehow make it into like really successful professionals in this space, which I think is so cool that you just got to fake it till you make it sometimes.
Yeah, I was supposed to be a lawyer, but nobody. No, I wanted to be a sports agent, but no one. I'm sure people told me, but I wasn't paying attention, that basically an agent is a lawyer because you just read contracts every day. Because I wanted to be an NFL agent, and so I barely graduated college. So the idea of like going to law school was not going to be it wasn't going to go well. So it was a good pivot into this.
So how did you find Brew?
So in that whole process of like coaching people for a year, I was kind of just continuing to do like what most coaches do, mentorships, internships, everything. I was lucky enough that the founder of Brute lived like 15 minutes away from me. I don't know if you guys know who Matt Bruce is. So Matt Bruce was a world team member for the Olympics, for the USA team, like way back in the day. He has the fastest like top down snatch of all time ever recorded. One of the best Olympic weightlifting coaches. But he lives 15 minutes away. I went and interned with him just to learn more about Olympic lifting for like 6 months. And it was basically just me going in and like helping him coach and kind of seeing like how he does things. And then I finished that. And then one of the people that I was programming for basically sent me an ad that like Brute was like hiring for one-on-one coaching, and they were starting their one-on-one program. So I messaged Matt and was like, hey, I'm applying for this, just to make sure that he saw that I was applying. I don't know if he never responded, so I'm going to go with like, I got it off merit. But I applied, I made it through the application process. And then in 2018, that was my first year.
Oh, I didn't realize you had been with them for that long. 2018?
Mm-hmm.
That's a way longer than what I thought.
Yeah, so 2018, it's funny enough that like they had like all these rounds of like interview, and like the second round of the interview was Matt Torres was actually on the interview. So he was actually the first like one-on-one coach like hired, but he was helping Nick with the hiring process. So that's kind of like how we met. And I believe in 2019 was like my first time coaching at the games.
Okay.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, really quick turnaround. It seems
No.
no.
I had been grinding since 2014.
That's
I was putting in work. I was putting the hours. It's like the overnight success thing, right?
Yes,
It
fair,
seems
fair.
like it, but I'd been
Yes.
putting in the work.
which is funny because that is what I was kind of about to ask. Is Brute, as of recently, the last few years, maybe 2 years, it seems has really taken off, but it clearly has been around for a really long time. But there is some sort of like magic around the Brute camp now. What do you think changed? Or do you think it was always there? We've just now become more aware of it as outsiders? What's different?
I mean, when did you guys start CrossFit?
2013.
2013? Okay.
I think 2016, 2017.
2016?
Yeah.
What is like, do you remember like old Brute? Like pre-COVID?
No, wasn't like
pre-COVID
Brooke
Brute?
Ince in Brew at one point? I remember that. So
Okay.
is that old Brew?
That is old Brute, yes.
Okay.
I did live in Naples, but that was until I think 2017, but I knew there was like something around somewhere, but maybe it was after I moved. I can't remember. But I know like that.
Wasn't it just a lifting program back in the day?
No,
Or like
so
more known for that?
yeah, it was more of like a template. But if you think of like think of Old Brute was like I don't want to say on the level of like mayhem or like proven or like put a tag to it, but like there was a time where Brute was like at the top essentially or close to the top. And the reason for that was the model was a subject matter expert just came together and wrote like a template program. And it was basically the best template program. And we had Brooke Ents, we had Wasatch Brutes with Adrian Conway, only team to beat Mayhem, to beat Rich Froning, right, at the games. Just let's remember that. Only team to beat Rich Froning. And I believe we're doing a lot better. And then the shift that happened was Matt wanted to focus more on his huge like in-person like coaching practice. Like online was becoming a little bit too much. And then Mike wanted to shift it towards working against gravity, which was his wife's company. And that kind of like left like a void of like the company is doing well. Like we were always doing well on the competition floor, but maybe as a business we weren't doing the best and we didn't have like the best setup. And so the shift that has happened is we're winning, right? Like that usually helps. Winning helps. But secondly, we're actually running it like an actual business instead of just two bros getting together and doing whatever they want, which in that gap, it was kind of like just chaos and mayhem.
Yep. That makes sense.
So I have.
Sorry, I have a
No,
question.
go ahead.
What is your perception of Brute currently?
It's the
We
word.
had a whole episode on like training camps and if they're hot or not.
I didn't see that.
Brute
Well,
was
was
hot.
Brute?
Brute was
It was
hot.
hot.
Like
Okay,
across.
what makes it hot?
I think we said, well, obviously, you guys have been on the podium a lot as of recently, but you guys are kind of swaggy, and I don't know what it is. Just like the brand in general, like the people who are at the camp, all like the coaches, the athletes. There's just something
There's a vibe.
about
There's a
it's a
vibe
vibe.
about it. And when we said that, people were like, "Oh my God, they love Matt Torres." It became a whole thing. But I will say, so I own a gym, but I do one-on-one programming. I have a programming business. And I think what I've always thought was really cool from when y'all were in Naples and everything is you were one of the first camps. I think maybe people were doing this, but not as publicly, that like your elite athletes were all doing very different things. Like they weren't all doing the same thing. Like it was the most individualized, I would say, of the top camps. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. And you were really in the videos I watched and everything. It was always like, do you know what Active Life RX is?
Of course.
Yeah. So I used to work there with Matt's sister back in the day. We both worked there. And that was kind of how I got into online programming. I'm a physical therapist. And my background is in like programming to get out of pain. And so I always thought it was very cool that you guys had super individualized programming. It was kind of like the performance side that I'm now on more. So I, as like a programming nerd, like Brute, my gym also does Brute class, Brute affiliate.
Let's go. Love that.
Today
Love
was
that.
terrible. Everyone hates me. But yeah, I think it's the swaggy vibe. And again, we said like all of your athletes and like majority of your top end athletes could podium all three places on a podium at most elite competitions.
What do you think is more important to the vibes, as you say, winning or like culture.
Culture.
Like if we stop winning and like we were carrying ourselves the same and doing everything, do you think we would still have the vibes? Or would
Yeah.
you go, Brute fell off?
No, I think culture, because I think even if you look at like some of the biggest names in CrossFit, they're not the people that are winning. Like I love to use Guy as an example. He's the most like fun, outgoing athlete. He's not ever on a podium, but probably makes more money than majority of top end athletes because of who he is and the like vibes and culture I would say he brings. And so I think obviously winning helps. I think it's, but like I don't think that's what makes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like obviously the objective is always to win, right? Especially as a CrossFit brand, you want your athletes to do well and perform well, and that gives you credibility as a coach and as a company. But also like it kind of makes what you guys have created, it almost makes, at least from an outsider perspective, makes people want to be a part of it. I want to be in with those people. And there are some other places where I'm like, I could maybe, I'm fine not being in the room with those people, but you guys are definitely, I'm like, they seem like cool people. I would hang out with them. And I think that speaks volumes of like who you guys are as individuals that have created that culture. And like, yes, the goal is to win, but I also don't think that you can discount the culture and how beneficial that can be as well.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Do you think winning matters more or culture matters more?
Uh, no, I mean, to me, we've always been winning. Not maybe not like winning on top of the podium, but like we've been really good at coaching and getting athletes better.
Mhm.
But I think the culture is more important. We want to keep winning, and like that is our goal with every athlete that we have. But I think continuing to develop our culture, developing the standards for like how we operate and everything, I think that's what's going to lead to us getting even bigger than what we currently are.
So if you guys are taking on a new athlete into Brute, if somebody comes to you and is like, I want to be a Brute athlete, do you consider maybe like what their image is, who they are as a person? Like, do they need to fit that culture in order to be a Brute athlete, or does that not matter?
I don't even know what that means.
Like,
Uh, I mean, yeah, we
like, do you
consider
vet
who.
them? You
I think because we're all remote and like it depends on like who's coaching them. Like if someone if someone that has be comes to me and says, "Hey L, I want you to coach me," I'm gonna be like, "I can't." You know what I mean? Like it's that's more important, but like it doesn't mean that Jeff can't coach him. Doesn't mean that Dex can't coach them. You know what I mean? Like there is there are coaches that have the ability to like help those athletes, and if we think that the potential is there and we can actually help them, um, I don't see why we would turn someone away outside of them just being a dick.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I had the question that I wanted to ask, like the biggest thing you've learned from Matt Torres. But then we put that question box and someone asked your favorite and least favorite thing about working with Matt. So let's do that.
I'll do the one thing I learned from Matt.
No.
No, my favorite thing about working with Matt is we are we are the same but also complete opposites. In the sense like our mindset and like our drive, like we're really aligned there, where it's like, all right, work and grind at all costs. Do what you need to do to make your athletes the best. Like uh contribute in the success of others, like share information, like we're not withholding information, like we're really aligned to that. um the place that we're completely different is uh when he thinks of something, I'm like, why would your brain go there first? Right. And it's like when my brain goes somewhere, he's like, I don't even know how you even got to that conclusion. But the way it works is like the answer usually falls in the middle of like there's good yin and yang, where some things that I don't even consider, he's just able to like make me aware of it and like kind of like feel like my blind spots that I have of like sometimes I'm too locked in into I need to do this, and it's like you should consider that, right? So I think that's like my favorite part of like having someone that like you 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 align with like on a mentality perspective, but like that thing's completely different in the way you think.
I think Mesa and I probably fall somewhere in
I
there.
was just thinking that. We're probably, yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that exactly.
The one of the other questions we did have is what's your favorite part about coaching Ariel?
Okay. No. Ariel is like she's like my little sister that like just annoys you, but like at the same time, like you want them to do well and to like figure life out and do everything they want to do. And then you see them work so hard and you want them to be rewarded for it. And like I think that's like our relationship of first coach and athlete and then big brother, little sister that kind of like gets on your nerves, but like it's fine.
I need you to know that like at random times in my life, I just think about when she was like, and I was like, you wear necklaces now? And I just casually laugh about it. Like it just in the middle of the night, I'll think about this and start laughing. That was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
I did see, I
Where
went back and looked at our old episodes today, and I did see that you commented on her episode that you
I
did
did.
watch it. Did you
I
laugh?
did.
Was it any
I've
of it
never
funny?
seen her
Because we
talk
were
that much.
dying.
That is the most she's ever talked. Like she never talks that much.
It was so
I'm
good.
shocked because
Yeah.
she was yapping away. I loved it. It
Yeah.
was one of the best episodes that we've had. It was so fun.
No, I told her she would get more requests to be on there because she did so well.
She did great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely having her back. I do have a few more questions people ask. A few people had a question around like, where do you get the confidence to coach Jayson Hopper elite athletes? Because there's got to be some kind of maybe imposter syndrome, or it takes a lot of confidence to coach athletes of that level.
Where do I get the confidence?
It's an aggressive way of stating it, but you know what I mean.
I don't think you get the confidence. It's like you either believe you can help them or you don't, right? Like it is at first it is like nerve-wracking of all right, this person finished fourth at the games. What am I gonna do to like help them get better than fourth, right? And that's that's really like tough if you think about just the result. But like it's never really about the results. It's about whether you can actually like help them get better. So at first it was more about understanding what his limitation, what his issues were, what his weaknesses were. And like once I had a not a full understanding, but like a decent understanding of it, it was like clear of like, okay, this is what I think is gonna work. This is what I believe will help him get better. This is what he's done in the past. This is what has been effective. This is what hasn't. And like a lot of the information comes from the athlete to like kind of carry that process. But like I don't think it was like, oh, I have the confidence to do this. Like there's times where I question if I have enough information to help him get better. But one thing I do know is like I have the resources or I know where to find the answers if I need to. So like that gives me more confidence to like go in and know that I'm doing the best job.
I'm gonna pull this. Somebody said, what was the first thing that you needed to do when you started working with Jayson?
Like uh The first thing, like the first cycle was basically what Jayson felt his weaknesses were, which was squatting faster and battery work. So the first cycle was those two things.
All the amazing.
Yeah.
I think he's talked about that before. I think.
Did you know he would like? Did you think he could win? Was that in your mind?
Yeah.
So you weren't surprised?
Surprised? Yeah, I was surprised. No, I believe we could win. Man, it's hard to see, like it's hard to know, but like when you see how hard someone is working and you
Mhm.
see like just the progression of they were doing this a month ago, now they're able to do this, or this is how they felt a month ago doing this exact movement or combination, and this is where they're at now. Like the signs were there for like for him to show up at the games and be in the best shape he could be for that season. And so if you just go with last year he finished fourth, like that wasn't a fluke by any means. You can kind of trust the fact that like, okay, he's a better athlete now. It should reflect on the leaderboard, right? Short of programming that is just completely unfavorable. You can kind of trust those things. Like athletes repeat performances. It's like if there's a handstand workout, Danielle or Ariel would do well, right? Like you can count on those things. If there's a rope climb workout, Bill is going to do well. Like certain things don't change per se.
Mhm.
Do you want Mesa? Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. How many athletes do you work with?
Ooh, I can't tell you that.
Oh,
Top
Okay.
top
This is like
secret
a lot of people want to know. Okay, so
Are you
let's
saying athletes like athletes, or are you saying like clients?
one-on-one programming.
Can't tell you that.
Okay, so
Secret.
let's just say it's a high number, I assume.
Yeah.
How
The
do
reason
you?
I don't like to disclose that is like people put their own limitations on me. Like if I said I work with 100 athletes, you'd be like, 100? How do you do
That's
that? It's like, well, you're not me.
Yep.
So maybe it seems like a lot to you, but it's not to me. Also,
That's
you
fair.
don't
Yes.
know that I've been sleeping like 5 hours for like 4 years now. And I'm fine.
You're like sleep. I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
So I program individually for a decent amount of athletes. Probably not as
How
many as
many?
you. Like mid-30s.
Oh, yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, not like a crazy amount, but that's a decent amount. I think with owning a gym,
Is mid 30s hard?
it's doable. I think with owning a gym, that's probably the amount I could do because that's
Okay, what
not.
if you didn't own a gym?
Oh, I could double that.
Bam, there we go.
Yeah. So
Guys, I don't do anything else but coach athletes.
It's my full-time job.
It's my full-time job. I do it for 8 hours a day. It's not that many.
yeah, people had questions about how you prioritize time, how you make this happen.
I get frustrated with that question because I feel like I've said the number before and the answer is never like, oh, okay. It's like always like shock. But also think that people think that I coach that many like competitive athletes. It's like I have 6 that are gonna go to semifinals and do well at semifinals.
I will say, I was talking. So James Bragg he programs a little bit, so he's programming in the lobby in Copenhagen. I was like, "Are you on True Coach? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
So talking about it, and he was like, "That's crazy. You have like 30 something clients," and I was like, "The more clients I have, the faster I get at programming, if that makes sense. Because I feel like you get, like, I think 5 clients and 15 clients took me the same amount of time.
Yeah.
You get like better, and then you also like find like systems, I don't know, or like progressions that
Yeah.
work. Feel like that.
There's a time where programming a week for an athlete would take me like 4 hours.
Mhm.
Right? Like it couldn't take me that long these days.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
And like I think the more athletes or clients you have see people that are like on similar progressions that you can reuse, recycle to a certain degree.
For sure.
Do
I
you
have to, go
do
ahead. Go.
you coach? So you had 6 like elite level athletes or that will make it to semis. Do you coach regular people like us would make up the rest
I
of
have
your
people
clients?
that are trying to get their first pull up. I have
Hell yeah.
people that don't know how to do muscle ups. I have people that are training for high rocks and want to do well at high rocks. Like I coach everybody.
Do you get similar like pride and joy from those kinds of clients like you do from elite athletes?
I get that more because it's like, how awesome is it to get someone to do their first like ring muscle up
Yep.
of like, I just been grinding away doing these boring progressions for like 7
Yep.
months to do one. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like yeah, it's really fun when Jayson wins the games and like I can ride that high for like a year. I got like 6 more months of this at least. Uh, of like that's super awesome, right? But like it's equally as awesome for someone to get their first muscle up or take their first steps of like a handstand walk and you can see them like starting to like trust the coaching process and to like
Mhm.
believe they can get better. Yeah, for sure.
I say that all the time, that I think it's like way more exciting that my parents are now working out 3 days a week than it is like coaching higher level athletes. And I think it was Dallin that said this at some point in an interview. I want to say it was with the Buttery Bros, that he's like way more impressed by the people who have like full-time jobs and families and kids and like come to the gym for an hour. He's like, this is my like only job. Like this is all I
Yeah,
do. So he's like, it's not really
for
hard
sure.
for someone like me to step into a gym. So I think that's cool. Um, I have do you have something else, Kate? Because I have a totally different topic I wanted to touch on really quick.
Go ahead.
So me and Kate, have had some hate on the internet when we started our podcast from
Oh,
people
from
that
who?
may mutually hate on you.
Oh, people. Me?
I mean, we've had some beef with some people in the media space over
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah.
Um, so you kind of said before we hopped on that like it was a goal in 2026 to get in front of a camera more. You also deactivated your Instagrams. So like, how do you deal? I mean, like you said, it's hard. It's hard to be an influencer. It's hard to be in front of the camera, but like we kind of have to, whether you're in media, whether you're coaching, whatever. I own a gym and I have to be on Instagram all the time. That's like how I get members. So like, how do you find that balance? Because you are a brute strength coach, you are Jayson's coach. How do you like handle? Obviously, we've seen some of the ways you've handled it. That's that kind of stuff that comes with this.
Uh, I just keep doing my job. Like it doesn't really like matter.
I'm bothered.
Like I have to understand that like it's their job, right? Like if they're a media personality or in the media, you're supposed to talk about what's in the media. Short of someone calling me names or trying to call me a cheater or any of that, like go for it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say I support it, but like it's okay. You know what I mean? And I think more people should just go like, okay, they're just doing their job and like roll with it. It's actually better when you like engage with them, um, versus like ignore them, I found. So like I'm trying to be friends with everybody and go on everything.
That's very big of you.
No,
Yeah.
we all need to be more unbothered like you for 2026. But I
Are
agree.
you guys bothered by it?
I'm not. No.
Would you
I would
have
say,
said person? Are you trying not to say the person's name?
I mean, it's not one. There was one, but
She's gonna
there's a lot.
get this. You know that, right?
What?
What?
Uh, nothing. Nothing.
You
Would
cut
you
out.
have
I don't know.
would you have one of those people on your podcast?
I would
I
have
would.
anyone on the podcast because like I think we've said this from the beginning is like our whole thing is we want to be able to have civil conversations with people we don't agree with, right? Like I don't think differing views is a reason to hate someone. I would say I think Kate's more unbothered. I would say I'm 90% unbothered. There's certain lines in the sand that I think people shouldn't cross. But again, like when we choose to do this, we know what we're signing up for. I think like certain things can be somewhat unsafe if you cross lines, but for the most part, it's banter. And it's part of the game. I think there's better ways to go about it that we try to do, but you can't control everything.
Do you think it's good to have conflict, or do you think it's like there's no space for it?
No, I think it's good.
Think it's good?
Yeah.
I think go ahead, Kate, go ahead.
It just like generates conversation and not, I mean, anything in the world, no matter it's CrossFit, politics, whatever, like we're not all going to agree, but I do think it's the way that we communicate those things to each other and have conversations that matter. I don't think we're like really nailing that right now in this space. So, you know, that's kind of what we tried to do is like agree to disagree and be able to talk about it. And like, I don't hate you because you think differently of me, but like if you're hateful towards me because of that, then like maybe that's a little bit different. But I just always try to like poke fun back, and I really like, I don't really care. Like it's
Have
just part
y'all
of it.
have y'all seen people that you're talking about in person?
Yes. So nice.
They are really kind.
So nice.
Mhm.
Does that help you like understand that like it's simply like a job? Because I think like when it first happened last year, my natural instinct is like, all right, I'm going into like a war zone, like I'm ready for whatever. And then that wasn't like the energy at all. And I was like, this is weird. I feel weird.
You know, I had an interaction today on the internet on one of Hiller's posts, and I just like, I think about some of those people, and because we've seen them in person and it has been very like we shake hands, we say hello, we have a conversation and go about our way, very different on the internet. And it's like what you see with me now is really like what you will get in real life. I'm not pretending to be anybody. So some of these people are either like pretending to be someone that they're not in order for people to like them and to get clicks and for people to engage with them, which sucks that you have to like pretend to be someone else in order for people to like you. Or maybe you just are, I don't know. But like I would rather everybody like, why try to be somebody that you're not? Like angry and mean on the internet, and then in real life you're not really angry and mean, you know? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get it, but I think it's like just like you said, when you like understand that like it's not like true malice, you just kind of like all right, whatever. It is what it is.
I
You know,
think
you just kind of like move along.
yes. I'll pipe in a little. I think I agree with you most of the time. When I think there are things, whether they're intended to or not, that you cross lines of like slurs and race and stuff like that, that can be dangerous or can be not okay to be said. And like even if the intent is to be funny, it's still
Yeah.
not okay to cross those lines because it's not funny for some people and it's not like, and so I think if you're making fun of the content I'm making, the things we're saying, the opinions we have, go for it. Fair game. I think there's lines in the sand. I feel that way. And it's not like, oh, that hurt my feelings. It's like, oh, this is no longer like appropriate for what we signed up for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it up to you to draw that line? Like, are you throwing hands when you see him in person? Or are you like, I'm not
No.
gonna shake your hand? Like,
No, it was so funny. No, not
but
at
it's
all.
like up to you to
I'm
draw
always
that line.
very cordial in person. I'm always cordial always. Like, and I'm a person who in general, I say like I love confrontation. I'm always open to talking about something. I think like I'm very direct. I'm the type of person that if you piss me off, I'm just going to tell you that pissed me off and then we're going to move on from it. I don't think there's like ever a situation where two adults need to throw hands. Like I don't feel that way.
There's plenty of situations where you need to. There are a lot of situations where you need to throw hands.
All right. Well, next time I need you, I'm calling
But
help.
but
Uh,
like obviously like what someone said on the internet probably doesn't fall under that, right? It's like it doesn't really mean anything, you know? Um yeah. I think I've learned my lesson of like I don't need to get as frustrated or
mhm.
as angry as I probably got the first time because it's probably not as serious as I'm taking it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And that was a good
Um,
lesson.
I feel like we've taken up more of your time than we originally planned, and I'm sure you have things to do.
Yes, I have to go program.
Before you go,
700 clients.
yes, you heard it here first. Coach El has 700 clients. The barbell
Yeah.
spin is going to report it next. Before you go, we always ask a guest to give us a hot take. It could be about CrossFit. It could be about, you kind of said pie earlier. The pie kind of sucks. If you want to double down on that, you can. Any kind of hot take.
A hot take. Uh, hot take. Brute will have 4 athletes on the podium at the CrossFit Games,
Oof.
Oh,
at least.
At least.
at minimum.
That's a big one. I don't doubt that. I think that's definitely could happen.
I feel like that's a lukewarm take
I
because
feel like I shouldn't. I want to take that one back. I shouldn't say that. So I'm not the one out there like putting my body on the line.
you already said it though. There's
I
no
already
take
said
back
it.
on hot takes.
I said it. Whatever.
I think I love it. I love it. We'll let you get out of here. Thanks for coming. This was really fun. Now we've had Dex, Ariel, and you on. Fee.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
We've had a lot of you guys.
You need to have Matt on next.
Yeah.
Tell him we'll send him a message. We'd love to have him. So
We said his kids is really hot, so I mean,
Yeah, he can his perspective of our relationship.
Amazing. Can't wait for that. Mesa, you have anything before he goes?
no, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks y'all for having me.
Yes, thanks. It was fun. Have fun programming for your 700 clients.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, all right, guys.
He's not an enigma anymore.
No, he does speak. That was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. We really have had a lot of Brute athletes on, or Brute, like people from the Brute camp. I didn't realize until I just said that.
I know, maybe we got to round it out and just have like every Brute.
Everybody.
One by one. All right. Do you want to call out RF?
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by RF Supplements, the NSF certified supplement brand trusted by athletes who demand clean, effective performance. From protein powders to peptides, RF Supplements has everything you need to perform at your best. No fillers, no shortcuts, just science-backed formulas built for real results. Check them out at rfsupplements.com and use code RF-ITBO for 15% off your orders. RF Supplements, fuel your potential. That's all we got for you guys. We'll be back next week. Should be same time. Same original time, Thursday at 7 p.m.
Go follow us on, subscribe, comment. You know the drill.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.